Sold out Georgia Dome. Tickets have been just a little difficult to come by. And here's one reason. The appearance of the Florida Gators, 12-0, the defending national titles. Right behind them, the Crimson Tide of Alabama, 12-0 in regular season for the second successive year. Kickoff is next. Moments ago, Tracy Wolfson with Nick Saban.
Thanks a lot, Coach. You told us that Mark Ingram will play. He looked good in warm-ups, but are you concerned about how he will hold up for all 4 quarters?
Well, we're going to play all the guys. I mean, we got 3 good backs. We'll play them all, and we'll try to rotate so Mark can get through the game, but he's ready to go.
A loss to Florida here last year. What did you tell your team in the locker room before they took the field?
Well, you know, we learned from that game last year, so now they know what it takes, and they're going to have to play 60 minutes every play in the game and be relentless competitors every down.
Thanks a lot. Good luck today.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tracy. Today's game is brought to you in crystal clear, high definition by LG. Seventh time these two teams have met in this championship game. Over the years, Alabama leads the series by 7. And this is the first SEC Conference Championship between undefeated teams. The series began in 1992.
Interesting, Vern. I believe, I think I'm right on this, Nick Saban usually defers if he wins the toss. He won the toss and took the football. I think he's trying to change the feeling in this game for his football team.
That means that Caleb Sturgis will kick off, and the ever dangerous, oh no, Arenas is not back. Julio Jones is 1 of 2. And it is Arenas at the 3. Bounces outside. Nice tackle at the 21-yard line. Omarius Hines, number 82, with the special teams play. Now, Greg McElroy, the junior out of South Lake Carroll, began on this field against Virginia Tech, and his first 4 games were excellent. Went into a midseason slump, but he's really regathered himself, and no greater example of that than his perfect execution on the game-winning touchdown drive last week against
Look at this spread.
Wow. Out of the gun. Empty back, well, almost an empty backfield.
It's a tight end way up here.
McElroy lets it go. He's got a man wide open. Julio Jones. How do you do?
Yeah. Great protection on that offensive line. No Carlos Dunlap. Watch the time for Julio Jones to come across this formation wide open. Nobody covering him. Nick Saban says, I'm not waiting around this year. We made first downs. We took our time. I want to open this game out from the start.
And a first down and 10 on the 18-yard pickup. Roy Upchurch split bottom of the screen. That's Julio Jones in motion. McElroy handoff. Ingram darts left. Picks up a quick 5, maybe 6. Joe Hayden with the tackle. And let's introduce you to the remainder of the lineups presented by Dr. Pepper. Carpenter, Johnson, Playhouse, Jones, and Davis. Sometimes susceptible Alabama offensive line. Mays, Ingram, the Heisman Trophy candidate, Dial, Peak, and Julio Jones, and Nick Saban in his 3rd year. 2nd and 4. Colin Peak and Michael Williams, 2 tight ends to the left. Marquise Mays in motion, fake the reverse. McElroy will tuck it and run. Dives for the first down at the 47. Defensively for Florida, number 1 in the country statistically. There's Jay Howard starting in place of Dunlop, and I said mid-season DUI. It was last week, of course. Tratto in the middle, and Cunningham up front. Hicks, Spikes, and Ryan Stamper. And they go a 3-3-5, the 5 in the secondary. Jenkins, Black, Wright, Hill, and Joe Hayden. 1st and 10. Ingram. On 1st down, he gets across the 45, near the 44. Tackle made by Jay Howard.
Well, let's try to figure this out as Urban Meyer watches a football team out there and what Alabama is trying to do. I believe that Nick Saban is one of the best coaches defensively, is seeking out a matchup that he can take advantage of. I wonder if he feels, without Dunlap out there, he feels he has a better chance to mix it up and throw the ball more in this game.
McElroy right side. Marquise Mays hangs on. That should be enough to move the chain again. What an impressive opening for the Crimson Tide of Alabama. What kind of season have they had? It began here with a whipping of Virginia Tech. They are the first SEC team undefeated in regular seasons since '74. The game-winning drive last week, 79 yards, 15 plays. The pass from McElroy to Roy Upchurch for the win over. And then there was Terrence Cody as he blocked 2 field goals in that 2-point victory over Tennessee. McElroy, right side, went to the secondary receiver. That's Colin Peak, number 84.
It is ironic, isn't it, Vern? I mean, I mentioned in the open, Tim Tebow was called the chosen one coming out of high school. And it was down to Florida and Alabama. He chose Florida, so Alabama countered by offering a scholarship to Greg McElroy. It's the only reason he's here. Undefeated in high school, undefeated for Alabama as a starter.
2nd down. They give it to the short man. That's Upchurch. Now, just to continue the Greg McElroy story, he grew up in north central Texas at Southlake Carroll High School. He sat behind Chase Daniels for 3 years. He only started 1 year as a quarterback. They went 16-0. He had committed to Texas Tech, recruited by Dave Rader, the former offensive coordinator here. And Rader said he was so patient. He knew the deal. And he waited and waited. And then the day after the Cotton Bowl, in his senior year in high school, offered this position to come to Alabama. 3rd down. Ingram, wing right. No blitz. Got a man, Julio Jones, inside the, no.
Yeah.
I thought he hung on. Yeah.
Dropped it. You got to give great defensive play that time on Joe Hayden, too. Joe Hayden went over, matched up on Julio Jones. Joe Hayden, an All-American, stayed with him. Good throw, almost a good catch. You know what that means? Good competition right there. Best against best.
Here's Lee Tiffin, all-time leading scorer in Alabama history. 27 of 31 this year, and this to get on the board from 48 yards out. It is perfect.
How about that? Nick won the toss, went with his offense that won the game last week against Auburn, and they came out with another great drive.
Crimson Tide takes a 3-0 lead. Nick Saban ecstatic on the sideline. Or not. Alabama, 48-yard Lee Tiffin field goal. They lead it by 3. 9 plays, 47 yards, 4 minutes, and 23 seconds. Tiffin will kick off.
You know, both teams go 12-0, and really, if they don't win game 13, it ain't going to matter much for these two teams.
Brandon James at the goal line. 1 kick return for a touchdown this year. Not this time. Robert Lester makes the tackle with help from Roy Upchurch, and Tim Tebow about to take the field. Actually, his numbers this year are not that much lower as we get to the championship game than they were a year ago. 13 rushing touchdowns this year. He's 39-5 as a starter. This is his 40th start in a Florida uniform. Brandon James, number 25. Here's the inside pitch. Hernandez, you think they hadn't done some work on that? My goodness. That thing went for an easy touchdown against Florida State.
How about Alabama starting out with a four-man line? Eric Anders right there is going to land up and follow the tight end. Guys, you're not getting this play. We are going to take 81 out of this football game one way or another. I will say for Hernandez, this is the best group of linebackers and safeties he will have faced all year.
Gain of 2 on the shovel pass. It's 2nd down and 8. Tebow's first throw, perhaps. Settles out. Oh, he's got a man wide open in the flat, and he drops it. Oh, baby. Jeffrey Demps. Well, that may be why he's only caught 8 passes this year.
Oh, that's incredible. Great pass protection. Tebow goes to his 4th man on the play, and if Demps catches that, he's going to get up the sideline. He had a big play there. The routine play, you got to do it.
Demps with a measured 100-meter time of 10.01. And he had a clear field way downfield. 3rd and 8. Blitz. McClain coming. He's held up. Tebow in trouble. And he throws it away over the head of David Nelson. Now that all began with a bobbled snap.
Orlando McClain comes as the 5th person. 5 on 5. They're bringing him. They're forcing Tebow to stay in the pocket. And Anders comes in late, and Tebow gets rid of it. Now it's Arenas, one of the game breakers in college football.
Here's the punt from Chaz Henry.
Perfect punt.
Keeps it away from Arenas. Well, that's the other part of this special teams program for these teams. That's only the 30th punt of the year for Chaz Henry. He has had only 4 returned, 2 of them for positive yardage, a total of 13 yards. Time call. Florida Gators, that's only the 2nd opening drive score allowed this year. McElroy 5 yards back. Good protection, wide open. Colin Peak, number 84.
How about this? 1st and 10, first play of a drive. They start out with the spread again. This time they're going to go to the tight end. Peak come all the way across here. Nice protection. Vern told you, really nobody covering him. The safety, Major Wright, has to come up for the tackle. They've got a feel for these crossing routes.
Another big play by Alabama. That one good for 19. Here's Ingram testing in the middle. And he's out to the 10. There's a 50. Colin Peak grew up in Ponte Vedra Beach, went to Bulls High School. Told us his grandparents, his mom, his dad, his 3 uncles, and 8 first cousins all went to or graduated from Florida. His dad's in the Florida Boosters Hall of Fame, played football with Spurrier. He went away from an Urban Meyer regime because he wanted to play a tight end position that would get him to the NFL. Went to Georgia Tech. There was a coaching change there. He transferred to Alabama, sat out, and now is the starting tight end for this Crimson Tide. More traditional offense. On the sweep, here's Ingram. They're gouging Florida so far.
Watch William Vlahos, the center, block Brandon Spikes on this football play. The zone stretch play, the center is going to get Spikes right here, the linebacker. Watch, he comes out, goes around the pile, and finds his man. Great technique by the Alabama team. It's balanced. You can see it. They throw, they run. It's not statistics. It's not numbers. It's willing to run the ball or pass the ball on any down. That's balance.
Trent Richardson now gives Ingram a blow. You heard Nick Saban talk to Tracy about their tactics for today. And here's Richardson, darts right. Good defense after a 3-yard gain. Richardson, who in that game-winning touchdown drive had one of the big catches, his 17-yard gain.
Now let's talk about Florida. There's no team in college football that has more experience in big games than this Florida defense. Remember, they returned all 22 first and second string players minus Carlos Dunlap today. But they're used to this. Remember, it was red zone inefficiencies by Alabama a year ago that was their downfall. They're not there yet, but that's when Florida gets tough, when they get backed up.
Ingram back on the field. Play fake, a slight one. Here's McElroy, deep double coverage. And that one is popped loose from Julio Jones. Again, boy, dangerous pass.
Look who it was again, though. The All-American against the All-American. Joe Hayden, I believe it is, isn't it?
Yes.
Joe Hayden against Julio Jones. Hayden cuts inside of him. Beautiful technique, and up comes Major Wright to clean it up.
This is an excellent Gator defense against third down. And you see what Alabama's conversion rate has been.
Nobody on the slot right here on Julio Jones. They got to make an adjustment. They do. Florida does.
On third down, McElroy. Not much pressure. Got a man open. First and 10 at the 18. Marquise Mays.
How about this passing attack from Alabama? The biggest difference, I think, in Alabama this year than last year is the emergence of Marquise Mays and Darius Hanks, number 4 and number 15, two complementary receivers.
Toss left side, down the sidelines, and out of bounds at the 10 goes Ingram.
Unbalanced line, quick snap. They got everybody on the left here, and they're going to quick snap it. Florida didn't line up properly, and it cost them.
Last week, Ingram held to 30 yards and 16 carries.
Same thing here, Vern. Unbalanced line to the right.
Look at that, 113 already. Toss, cuts it upfield. This time, good pursuit, led by Teron Sanders, and there is a flag on the far side of the field.
Probably lined up in an illegal formation, I would assume.
Into the backfield.
Yep.
5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Not enough men on the line of scrimmage. So they tried to go back-to-back plays, unbalanced line. The second one, he didn't line up properly. Kind of reminds me of the BCS National Championship when Oklahoma hit Florida early in the game. Quick plays, passing games. Remember, Florida made those stops near their own goal line to kind of save the game early.
After the penalty, it's second down 8.
Hayden on Julio again in the slot.
I think we're going to see that all afternoon. McElroy is 5 of 7 so far from the backside. Is that a fumble or a forward pass?
Jermaine Cunningham went right around Carpenter. Coming right around Carpenter. Looking to the left side over here. Carpenter replacing their great All-American Andre Smith, but you know what? He's had 12 games to get ready for Jermaine Cunningham. He didn't get off the ball.
That will go as a sack.
Got a penalty here.
Oh, McElroy indicates it's against Florida.
I wonder if it was a face mask or a horse collar. One of the two.
Holding. Defense number 40.
Wow.
Penalty half the distance goal from the previous spot. Still second down.
In the secondary, Hicks, number 40, was holding the tight end. Right here, man-to-man. He's got the tight end. Keep going, and he grabs him on the second move as he goes up. Good call.
And that is a first down at the 7-yard line. Brandon Hicks getting the start for the second week in a row because A.J. Jones is on crutches, a medial collateral ligament damage. First down, Alabama. They have dominated here in the first quarter. Ingram up the middle. Touchdown, Crimson Tide.
1
13th rushing touchdown of the year for number 22, Mark Ingram, the sophomore out of Flint, Michigan.
We talked about the bear look. Well, at least everybody else talked about the bear look that Auburn used. Well, that time Florida was in the bear look. The knee goes down just as Ingram stretches out. Pretty close. We do not have, obviously, a camera right on it. How about this one from above?
This is under review, Gary.
Yes, that's what we were looking at. Did the knee come down just as he stretched out? It was called a touchdown. You know, let's go back, if we could, one more time. James Carpenter, who got beat for the sack, really got a great block right there, pushed his man right by the hole.
Now look for the knee.
Yeah, it was his right knee just as he was stretching it out. I don't see anything conclusive to me yet.
Jim Allison is the replay official today, and there we are, and
it's close, isn't it?
Boy, is it ever close.
Remember, the ball just has to break the plane, whether it's up in the air or not when it touches the ground.
Not that we're wagering folks or anything.
No, I'd wager they won't change this.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
A 76-yard drive. And they mixed it very well, didn't they, Vern? Kept them off balance the whole time.
How about the start for Ingram and McElroy?
Yep,
wow.
and the offensive line, too.
Yes. Here's the extra point. It is up.
Hit the ball. No, upright. Hit the upright. No good.
This can be returned. No. I thought it was live. I guess not. I guess once it...
Now, as soon as it hits the upright, we're being told it's dead.
Dead ball.
Pushes it.
So the ball dead. Tippin, that's the third missed extra point this year. But what an impressive start for the Crimson Tide of Alabama. 22 games in a row for Tim Tebow. Urban Meyer and the Florida Gators, their last loss September '08. And this is the largest deficit they have faced this season, down by 9. Tippin will kick off. Brandon James back to return it. At the 20. Cut down as he gets to the 26. Rod Woodson.
Personal foul late on this play.
Nixon, Johnson, Pouncey, and Gilbert up front. Riley Cooper, Demps, Hernandez, Deontay Thompson, and David Nelson complete. Let's go down to Matt Austin.
Following the play, dead ball, personal foul, 26 of the kicking team. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, first down.
That is one of the seniors, Ali Sharif, number 26, at one point in his career, a starting defensive back. But the Gators, here we are with 5:26 to go in the first quarter, and the Gators down by 9.
Haven't seen anything yet. Let's take another look at this to see what happens. I thought it was against Florida, to tell you the truth, the other way. Oh, he did just correct it. I thought one of the Florida blockers threw a guy out of bounds. And it was. Yeah, well, yes. 26 in white.
Lorenzo Edwards. Apologies to Ali Sharif.
That's going to be a penalty, isn't it? Wasn't that back moving at the snap? That was strange.
That whole sequence was strange.
It looked like Rainey didn't know where to go on this play and was moving while the ball was being snapped. Watch him, he moves once, then he moves again. He wasn't set for a second there. I'm surprised Florida got away with that one.
Gain of 8, 2nd down and 2. This is only the 5th play run by Florida's offense here in the first quarter. Brandon James in motion. Tebow drills it. 1st down. Out to the 40, perhaps the 41-yard line. Deontay Thompson, number 6, makes the grab. Now let's check the number 2 defense in the country. Washington, Cody, and Dedrick, the 3 up front. They opened in a 4-man line. Reamer, McLean, Johnson, and Anders. And on the secondary, Arenas, Barron with 7 interceptions this year. Justin Woodall and Kareem Jackson. Kirby Smart, Georgia grad, defensive coordinator, Alabama.
A lot more 4-man line than I thought.
Yeah. Tebow tipped, almost intercepted. Intended for Riley Cooper, but then it became a free ball up in the air.
Well, I tell you, Rolando McClain really read Tebow's eyes on this one. Thinks he's going to get it open, but Reamer's on the play, but Rolando McClain comes out of his linebacker drop and reads Tebow's eyes on that play. Amazing quickness.
Are you a big time of possession guy?
If you win.
Oh, come on.
Well, the other day I saw that NFL game when it didn't mean anything.
That's like Nick Saban talked about momentum.
Right.
If you believe it's important, it is.
It isn't. Unless you buy it.
Here's Tebow. Stiff arm. Nice defensive play.
Guess who?
Rolando McClain.
See, McClain has the size and the speed. Not just the speed, but the size to run down Tebow. It's one thing to get there. It's another thing to have the strength to pull this guy down.
Funny, Bobby Bowden said last week in the FSU game, it's so hard to get him on the ground. Nick Saban said to us on Wednesday, he is so difficult to bring down. 3rd down and 7. Right side. Brandon James, good for a 1st down, and the first time Florida's been across midfield. How about Florida's season? 12-0. Had a couple of close calls. Kind of stuttered out of the gate. Had that close win against Tennessee. The closest call they had was Arkansas at 23-20, and then of course the concussion at Kentucky. And then the game-winning field goal against Arkansas. Here they are, winners of 22 in a row. Brandon James in motion. Tebow fakes it, goes across the middle. His receiver tripped and was down. Hernandez.
He had Riley Cooper wide open for a deep one. Riley Cooper was upset. He just abuses bump and run, does Riley Cooper. Watch this bump and run against Johnson. Manhandles him and runs right by him. And I think Hernandez might have got pulled down on the play too, but 2 big plays, neither of them went Florida's way.
Tebow off to a 3 of 7 passing start. It's 2nd down and 10. Emmanuel Moody, who's been out the last 2 games, is in. Tebow fakes the pitch, turns the corner, and bulls his way out of bounds at the 41-yard line, bringing up 3rd down.
Well, now here's the first situation about the spread that makes the Florida spread different than anybody else in the country. Usually 3rd and short, the spread is not effective because you don't have a power running game. So you have to option or you have to throw the ball. The uniqueness of Tebow is 3rd and short is the best play Tebow. This is where he made his mark coming in, and he still is a load.
And it is 3rd and 3. Duck fires it. 1st down at the 30-yard line. Riley Cooper, they didn't misconnect this time.
And this was a run pass play action play all the way. Either run off tackle or throw the ball downfield. Beautifully played, designed play that time by this Florida offense.
Jeff Demps comes in at running back after the first down grab of 12 yards. Look at this. Almost 50% with Tebow there. Here's the option left side. Boy, he was keeping all the way then, and Eric Anders was there to say, I don't believe so.
Well, it was defense so well that time by Kareem Jackson. There was no pitch. This just doesn't happen by mistake. Alabama has been assignment sound so far. Watch when the option gets out here. Watch Jackson play it well. His man goes away. He knows he has pitch. He stays in assignment football and forces the run.
Rick Burgess, the fullback, is split top of the screen wide right. Here's Demps alongside Tebow. Second down, 11. Tebow dances to his left, settles for David Nelson, who is like the third receiver, and it's going to be third and double-figure numbers needed. Nico Johnson, number 35, with the tackle.
Well, Florida's offensive line has been holding up well so far against the pass rush. Marcel Darius, number 57, was a young pup last year making some plays. This year, he's a force.
Final 47 seconds, first quarter. It is 3rd and 12. 3 down, 5 on the line. Tebow retreats, and as he lets it go up in the air. Incomplete. Justin Woodall, closest there. Upshaw with the pressure.
It was. What a stunt. Darius comes inside, and Courtney Upshaw comes around the corner. Right up. Darius here, Upshaw up the middle. Watch this. That's what you have to do to Tebow. You must attack him from the middle.
Caleb Sturgis from 48 to put Florida on the board. He's been in a bit of a slump lately.
Nick Saban took a timeout. He wasn't sure if he had 11 or 12 men on the field. Kirby Smart, you see what he said? I wanted defense safe. That means you needed to be out there, Mark Barron. Good timeout, I think, for Alabama to make sure they didn't give a gift there.
Mark Barron's going to hear. Yeah, he's going to hear.
Yeah, you're going to yell that.
Yeah. Time call. Back with the field goal attempt, we think, in a moment. Back at the Georgia Dome with 33 seconds to go, first quarter, 4th and 12. And Sturgis, who on the season is 19 of 26, getting ready to attempt a 48-yarder. You see the slump to which we referred. Now, 3 of those 6 were in excess of 50 yards, but he has one of 56 for the year.
I suppose we should always keep an eye on Cody with that push inside, right?
Well, we saw him twice against Tennessee.
Yep.
Mount Cody. Caleb Sturgis. Cuts it just inside the right upright. Yeah, the Gators are on the board.
These two teams have so much experience to get here. No backing down. You got to drive the ball. You have to make the plays, and then you have to be willing to compete all the way through. A field goal is a win.
(9-3) Florida trails Alabama, and the Crimson Tide have been dominant with the football. Sturgis will kick it deep to Javier Arenas. Really deep. A yard back. Arenas out near the 30. See where they spot it? Yes. Actually, the 32.5-yard line. Tackle made by Ahmad Black. You know, Carlos Dunlap, as we have told you, was arrested 3:25 in the morning, charged with DUI, sitting asleep in his car at an intersection was the MVP of the championship game against Oklahoma last year. Have they missed him?
I think so, yes. He was a mismatch, and he forced Alabama to change up their blocking schemes. Look, I was going to say, I wonder if they're keeping Florida off balance. I wonder if they'll come to the Wildcat next, and they are. That's been the theme for Alabama. Keep Florida off balance with the play calling.
McElroy split wide left. Here's the direct snap to Ingram.
Boom.
Teron Sanders and Joe Hayden.
And you know, if anybody should be able to handle the Wildcat, it should be Florida. I mean, they face it in practice. It's the same offense that Tebow runs. So they should be able to handle this. Snap to the running back, carry the ball.
Loss of 1, 2nd and 11. And that is the end of the first quarter. Alabama leads it 9-3 in this battle of unbeatens. We'll return to the Georgia Dome after this message and a word from your local station. We begin the second quarter with the SEC Championship, this battle of undefeateds, Florida Gators and the Crimson Tide of Alabama, with Alabama leading by 6, a field goal, touchdown, missed extra point. Florida just got on the board. Vern Lundquist, Gary Danielson, and Tracy Wolfson. Second down, 11. McElroy under center for the Crimson Tide.
Upchurch in at fullback.
And a blitz from Will Hill. McElroy in trouble. Avoids the tackle and flips it out. It is caught by Ingram. And he battles out to the 37. That's going to bring up a third down. Well, Gary, the Crimson Tide won the toss. Saban, what he usually defers, he said, we want the football, and boom. Right
yeah,
away.
they've caught Florida a little off balance here. Florida comes in thinking we got to be powerful, we got to stop the run, the bootleg game. Alabama does something different. They've thrown Florida out of whack. Florida has only rushed the ball 4 times. They need to run the ball more. They're out of sync a little bit. Good game plan so far by Alabama.
Well, right now it's third down and 4. Ingram, left side. Will Hill with a tackle. Brandon Hicks. It was Hicks 40 instead of 10. Hill.
Hicks's job is to not get hooked on the play. Stay outside the play. He stays outside the play and makes the tackle. This drive blew up on first down when Florida stopped the Wildcat for a loss of yards.
And so P.J. Fitzgerald is on to punt on 4th down. First punt of the game for Alabama. James at the 23. Oh, he's got a wall set up. Fitzgerald has got to try and stop him and does.
Great tackle.
And Fitzgerald, the punter, saved 6.
Absolutely.
Here's James with the catch and then headed left.
If Richards doesn't make this tackle, James scores.
It was cold, overcast, and dreary for most of the day here in Atlanta, but now at sunset, beautiful shot of the Georgia Dome and these beautiful aerials of Atlanta and the Dome provided by Direct TV. How about these Florida rushing stats, Gary?
Well, I brought it up. 4 rushes in the first quarter. They got out of sync. It's been almost all passing for Florida.
10 passes so far. Here's a play fake and good coverage from Kareem Jackson down the left side. And that prevents the completion to Aaron Hernandez. Boy, he was covered from the get-go.
And he stayed so disciplined. He stayed in his bump and run coverage. He stayed in phase, that's what they call it, and he never really got out of phase. That's perfect technique. Bump and run. If you can't play bump and run, you can't play for Nick Saban at corner.
Second down and 10. Demps is the running back. Option pitch, near side. Brandon James. Flag might negate this one. If it stands, it's a 14-yard gain.
Holding. Offense number 6. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat, second down.
Look at the respect Terrence Cody is getting in this football game. They just aren't running the ball inside. Where's the dive play? Everything is going outside in this football game.
Now, one of the changes that Steve Adazio, the offensive line coach, made about 3 weeks ago at South Carolina, he put Xavier Nixon, the freshman, in at left tackle, moved Carl Jones to guard, then the Pounceys.
Carl Johnson.
Yes. I'm sorry. And in effect, I think it was the intent was to get ready for this game.
Yes, it was.
And let's try and counter Mount Cody. Second down. They haven't done so yet. Here's Moody, slips. There's Kareem Jackson. Now, the Gators, of course, won it last year. LSU the year prior to that. It was Florida in 06. And the Aflac trivia question. Yep. Which are the only two teams in the last 100 years to win 3 consensus national titles in a 4-year period? 3rd and 14. Four-man rush. Tebow now gets pressure. Comes near side. That one is tipped. Terrific job of Marquise Johnson of staying with Demps.
Well, it was good protection. Four-man rush, but better coverage. Tebow had nowhere to go but to throw it away.
Tebow now 6 of 13 for a modest 38 yards. Here is the punt, sky high. Wow, that's a way to negate Arenas, isn't it? Beautiful. Flying punt, 54 yards, Chaz Henry. That's his second punt of the game. And again, Arenas, who needs 37 yards for the all-time punt return lead, doesn't get any.
Has Florida settled down, or has it just been one play, that wildcat that they stopped? We will see.
That's a fairly pretty view. Downtown Atlanta. Cold, as we said, but who cares? Quite comfortable here inside the dome. 1st and 10. McElroy has had a fine game. 6 of 8, 70 yards. Handoff. Richardson left side. Nice first down play. Joe Hayden, Lawrence Marsh are there defensively.
Well, that's the scary thing. When Alabama gets those 4 and 5 and 6 yard gains, they just start marching on you with those 2 running backs.
Heisman Trophy candidate Mark Ingram on the sidelines, held in check last week at Auburn. Lowest total since last year's bowl game. He had only 30 yards, but already in this one, 8 carries for 42 and a touchdown. 2nd and 4. Play action from McElroy. Tough pass. Marquise Mays got it. First down.
McElroy is doing it all, isn't he? Bootleg to his left. Mays comes across, turns his shoulders, and throws a strike. Has he gained some confidence?
How much of that is attributable? I know he played pretty well in all of November, but that drive last week.
Oh, it does wonders for you.
Yeah.
Believe me, it does.
1st down and 10. McElroy under pressure, chased. This one very close to being picked off by Janoris Jenkins, intended for Brad Smelly. 2nd down and 10 from the 33. Up the middle, Richardson bounces off the tackle, and another, and then he gets a block from McElroy. How about the quarterback?
Well, McElroy was carrying out his fake, and all of a sudden Richardson is following him. Richardson breaks off one tackle, and then watch McElroy. Comes into the screen and gets the block.
All right, Gary, greatest technique.
Better than mine. How about this storyline? Remember, this is the guy they didn't want at Alabama.
3rd down and 3. Right side. Caught by Mays. And then Major Wright caught Mays, but not before a 34-yard gain.
Janoris Jenkins a little too aggressive. Watch him. He tries to cut inside this throw. It's a perfect throw to the outside. He gambles. He's not in phase, and it costs him.
Major Wright is down.
Did Major Wright get bumped here? Look.
Yeah, came back on the field and then went down. So he's getting medical help at the 22-yard line. Well, and the Major Wright catches up with Marquise Mays, injured on the play. We'll be back in just a moment. Sun peeking through one of the end zone doors here at the Georgia Dome, and time now to answer the trivia question. Which are the only 2 teams in the last 100 years to win 3 consensus national titles? Go back to the 30s, 34, 35, 36, and then Notre Dame, the great teams which featured Doc Blanchard and Glenn Davis. Florida trying to join them. Alabama had a near three-peat, 64-65. And then, despite an unblemished record in 66, Notre Dame and Michigan State with that famous or infamous 10-10 tie. And Alabama was the odd team out. Option, pitch, Richardson.
Going forward, isn't he?
Yes,
going forward.
You know,
Vern, in the 2008 game, neither coach tried any type of gimmick or trick play the whole game. The trouble that Alabama's had in the red zone, last week they tried a halfback pass that didn't work against Auburn. I wonder if Jim McElwain has something dialed up to try to steal 7 points.
We'll see right now, perhaps. 2nd down. Ingram back.
Here's the tight end way out here. This is the way they started out the game.
And Ingram top of the screen. Comes the corner blitz. Ahmad Black behind the intended receiver. Ingram, it's incomplete. 3rd down. Well, Major Wright limped off, and let's get an update from Tracy Wolfson.
That's right. He took a knee-to-knee hit on that right leg. He has ice on that knee right now. It looks like they're going to put a sleeve on it. He's trying to stretch it out. They do expect him to try and play through it. I'll give you any more information as soon as I get it.
Okay, Tracy, thank you. 3rd down here and 5. Colin Peak, tight end, is tight right.
Same formation as last down.
Preston Dial, the H-back, is split bottom of the screen. Mays in the slot. And again, the blitz. McElroy rolling out. Tries to dance down the sidelines. Did he do so?
Yes, he did.
Wow! A Barishnikov.
Mark Ingram gets a key block right on the end of this play. Look at Ingram. Watch this. He turns and pushes, and that allows McElroy to do, what was that called?
A Barishnikov.
That's what it was.
Little ballet step.
1, 2, and out.
Remember the old game when we were kids where you had to hop, skip, and You don't remember.
Video games by the time.
Oh, you listen. I'll give you a decade, but that's
right.
about it.
All right. What a play by McElroy, wasn't it?
Oh, my goodness.
Mark Ingram very smartly just shielded the one tackler, and McElroy read it and got down the sideline.
And the play is under review. Want to make sure of the spot.
Ingram gets the block.
That's good.
Does he step
right?
out? No.
Yep.
With his left?
That's
no
good.
with his right.
The little skip.
No with his right again. But where is the football when he goes out of bounds? As he turns, the football goes to the left side of his body here. But, you know, I can't. Can you tell where the ball is in comparison to the first down? I can't tell yet.
And in that event, you would think he's got the first down.
Nothing I saw there that could change the call on the field.
That was most impressive as he did the double hop down the sidelines. Here's the call.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down.
And Vern, it was another play that Florida let Alabama off the hook. Remember the Richardson run up the middle? The little hitch pass, 30-yard extra on a pass, and then they had McElroy and they let him scramble for a first down. 3 little plays that turned into big plays for Alabama.
Now you see the comparison between these two men. One a senior, he's on the left, and McElroy, the junior, redshirt junior, on the right. First year as a starter, undefeated as a starter, high school and college. First down. Ingram. Brandon Hicks was right there.
Oh, that's what Florida needed to do on second down, third down, and the scramble. Let's go back. Remember Trent Richardson on the block by McElroy? This was the second down play. Nothing there, should have been tackled, gets outside and puts it in the third and short. 2-yard pass, turns into a big play. Florida says, okay, we got you again. Nope, just enough. The plays are being made by Alabama so far.
Second down 10. 9-3, Crimson Tide leads. Straight drop back, pressure, got him. First sack of the game, Brandon Hicks, Ahmad Black.
Well, Hicks came in clean almost that time, and then Ahmad Black came. There he is. There's the first guy. Comes inside Carpenter, and then Ahmad Black cleans it up. Carpenter was confused on that play. That was a missed assignment on the play for the Alabama pass protection. And that's that red zone woes.
Now look at this, 21 field goals.
And it feels a little bit like last year.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Yes.
I agree. 3rd and 20. What you got for me? You got Roy Upchurch, and he breaks into the secondary, but it will be 4th and long, and we will see the field goal unit come on.
Yeah, that was a field goal play. That play was called by Nick Saban and Jim McElwain, saying it's 9-3, 6-point lead. We want a field goal try here. No mistakes.
Tippin hit the right upright with an extra point.
Spikes is limping off, too, by the way.
Oh, boy.
Remember that arch problem he had before.
34-yard attempt. P.J. Fitzgerald will hold. Brian Selman is the snapper. Nailed it. Alabama's lead is back to 9. Here's Spikes limping a little bit as he came on. Well, Tim Tebow, boy, they have not been on the field much, which leads to the delight of Nick Saban. Or almost. Brandon Spikes getting some medical attention. Looks like it's right calf.
Yeah, he slammed his leg on the turf. Where is he? There he is, right there. Watch how his momentum, he kind of gets centrifugal force, and watch his right leg get slammed on the turf right there.
Well, Tracy's right there. Trace?
Well, Vern, you are right. It is actually a calf cramp. They're trying to massage it out, and they're hoping to get him back in on the next series.
Brandon Spikes, who was visiting Alabama, and Mike Shula with Tim Tebow. That's when they met. And Tebow declared for Florida ultimately. Brandon Spikes had a when Harry met Sally moment and said, I'm going where he's going. And they both wound up at Florida.
Well, that happens when you can't run the ball. Florida has only attempted 5 rushing plays in this game.
That's amazing.
It is.
Wow. Brandon James. And it's time now to take a look at our Home Depot tools to victory.
And when you're throwing the ball against a Nick Saban defense, he's going to attack you. And Alabama has put pressure on Tebow in the pass rush. Then they tackled him when he tried to scramble. They came up on the short passes, and you know what? They covered the deep passes. That's why they're the best in the SEC. Kirby Smart's defense in quarterback rating against them. They are good at it, all phases.
First down 10 at the 30. Demps on the sweep.
Great
Look
play.
at Rolando McClain.
Yep. See, this is the speed sweep. That's a sprinter, but watch Rolando McClain. Vern got it. McClain goes 250. The guy he's going against is a world-class sprinter. McClain runs it down, because that's another 15 yards if he doesn't get him. Now there's under 6 minutes. And remember, Florida gets the ball to start the second half. 12-3 could change very quickly with a long drive here.
Play action, Tebow. Nobody there. Now he's got a couple of blockers. They take Reamer out. Here's Tebow. Out of bounds after that run at the 38-yard line. A gain of 22.
Tebow looks so calm this game, doesn't he? Everything's not working, but remember, you got to stop him every play. He's always dangerous. Even when you have the pass defended, he can get out and power his way to first downs or get outside and run.
And just a quick mention, East Carolina with that victory today, a little farther north from New Orleans, and Timmy indicated it's going to be in the Liberty Bowl. First down and 10. Tebow up the middle, looks for a block. Woodall catches up with him, and then Kareem Jackson knocks him out of bounds, but another. First and 10, 15 gets 15.
Remember the Washington Redskins, the counter OT,
sure.
With John Riggins?
Yep.
Here's the counter OT with Tim Tebow. Watch this, guard and tackle pull. Fake it, counter OT. Takes it up the gut and makes another rushing play.
And they break the huddle quickly. First down and 10. Demps, the running back. Tebow pulls. He's got a man wide open at the goal line. David Nelson, Gator touchdown. Caught the jump pass from Tebow, the decisive TD in last year's national championship
And he
game.
caught a touchdown pass in this game, and he baited Javier Arenas on this play. Arenas thought it was a run. Perfect technique. The little things. Selling the run. You know what you got to say about Florida? You got to kill them. You got to knock them out. They're champions. They ain't going to go down easy.
Sturgis with the extra point. Got it.
Great job by David Nelson, accepting coaching and doing the little things. Watch what he does to Arenas right here. He pauses and fakes the block. Fake, fake, fake. That's all you need. Beautifully designed play.
Well, you've seen the emotion of Tim Tebow just a couple of times in the last 4 years. Coming up at the half, two lucky contestants, neither you nor I among them, Gary, get a chance to win up to $123,000 in scholarship money in the Dr. Pepper Throw for Scholarship Dough. 4:31 to go, 12-10 Alabama. Sturgis will kick off to Arenas. Or Julio Jones, who's also back there. Nice one. Oh, and Arenas thought about it. Whoa, he double clutched. Turns out to be the right decision, didn't it? Let's go back to the touchdown.
Well, you never know on these plays who's responsible for who. Here's two players, and when the wide receiver goes long, both of them go with him. I don't know if Arenas is supposed to stay with David Nelson or not, but two players go with one. That could also be the breakdown in the play.
It is a touchdown, and here's what we have seen a couple of times in 4 years. I love the head knocking without the helmet. David Nelson. McElroy out of the spread, first down and 10. Corner blitz, McElroy fires it short. How about that? Ingram, only one man can get him, and he does. But what a huge gain. 69 yards.
Last week, Auburn burned Alabama on a corner blitz. This week, Alabama burns Florida on a corner blitz. The perfect play against the corner blitz, the screen to the halfback. Remember that long pass last week that Auburn hit it? Alabama had the perfect play called.
69 yards, the key block thrown by the tight end, all of whose relatives went to Florida, Colin Peak. Another huge play.
Vern,
and another anticlimax.
If you ask the defense to run a perfect defense against a screen, this would be the defense you ask for. A corner blitz, you let them go, you bait them inside. Now, did Ingram step out of bounds?
And that's the point of this issue.
About the 35-yard line, he might have stepped out.
Well, the official's got a good view of it, doesn't he?
Sure does.
Perfect view. Low look.
That was a little bit after the play.
Yep. Yeah, it was prior to that, about the 35.
That's still after the play. It's back another maybe 15 yards. Okay, here's the best. This is the screen pass.
Now he cuts to his right. Right there.
Yeah, his left foot is close. The official's right on it. I mean, he's not more than 4 yards away.
And the play will stand. That was the announcement as we continued to look at it. So a 69-yard gain, first and goal, Alabama.
How about how aggressive again Alabama has stayed in this football game? They've got 262 yards in offense in the first half.
You know what, Florida?
Cody's in the game.
Here's Mount Cody in the backfield. Or no, he's not in the back.
He's at. I don't think he is in the game. Oh, he's at right.
Left side. Touchdown, Alabama. Mark Ingram.
Well, you know, They fooled us this time. Cody usually lines up in the backfield. This time he lined up at tight end. And they used him as a decoy again. What an answer for Alabama.
Tiffin with the extra point. (19-10), 3:32 to go.
Into the corner blitz. The perfect call on first down. Watch the corner come. The back lets him go. Ingram lets him go. Watch this. Perfect call. Lets him go. You got it. Now, Florida's outnumbered, and Ingram goes down the sideline. They bring in Cody, and just like last week against Auburn, he's a decoy. This time he lines up at tight end, and they run the other way, and Ingram sticks it in the end zone.
Mark Ingram gets another, and he increases the Alabama lead. It took them all of 59 seconds to count it. Came on the air an hour and 45 minutes ago talking about the game within the game, the race for the Heisman Trophy. Tim Tebow, Mark Ingram. Well, look what's happened so far. Tebow 50% for 61 yards. Mark Ingram, big day. Started off running the ball. Then he had the reception for 69 yards. And of course, I think most of you know that Alabama has never had a Heisman Trophy winner.
They're both doing their job.
Yes.
Still plenty of time as you look at Ingram's stats past Bobby Humphrey, the Alabama great. Still plenty of time for Florida. All 3 timeouts.
Tiffin will kick off. Brandon James is back to return it. He'll take a knee. Gators have all 3 timeouts left. 3 minutes and 32 seconds at the 20-yard line. Trailing again by 9. And a quick recap, Alabama opened this game gouging the Gator defense. They got a field goal out of the first possession, a touchdown out of the second, missed extra point. They were up 9-0. And then Florida clawed and scratched and got back in this thing. Got it to 12-10, and Alabama went boom.
Yeah, a 1-yard pass for all the way almost for a touchdown.
Down the middle, Tebow. Riley Cooper. Still upright. Arenas helps get him down, tried for the strip. There you go, 59 yards.
How about the emergence of Hernandez and Riley Cooper? Great read by Tebow. Cooper lines up, he crosses with Hernandez. 3 guys goes with Aaron Hernandez. Tebow finds Riley Cooper, and you know, the more you watch this guy, you say, you know, no one can cover him. No one covers him all year. Legitimate threat.
First down 10 at the 20. Rainey's in the ball game, number 3. Here's the change from Tebow.
Are these supposed to be the 2 best defenses, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
That's right. Tebow nailed.
And this isn't, you know, Troy we're watching them do this against, right? It's amazing football. Both coaches now know the game. They know they have to score, and they're opening it up even more. Started out with Nick's aggressive play calling, and now Urban Meyer has adjusted with Steve Adazio and come back with a wide open game plan too.
Nelson and Thompson wide to the left. Here's Demps alongside Tebow. Sends Hernandez to the right with a sweep motion. Pulls up after the fake. Being chased by Cody. He'll win that battle. Oh, they tried the line. Was that a deflection?
It was dropped.
Reamer, yeah.
Dropped by Hernandez. Reamer swats it, and then it's dropped again. 2 drops on the play by Florida. Watch this. Hernandez drops it.
Look at Reamer now.
Reamer swats it, and then it's dropped it by Deontay Thompson. Drop, swat, and drop.
Third down, 8. Blitz. McLean coming up the middle. They try to get it for Hernandez, and he can only get it to the 15-yard line. My goodness. Here comes the field goal unit.
What a football game.
Yes. Chaz Henry comes over. That's something Urban Meyer didn't like. So Meyer called Henry the holder.
He's going to call timeout when it runs all the way down to 1.
There you go. Now let's take a look at the volleyball play there.
Yeah, Aaron Hernandez really wants this one back. Tebow did a great job getting outside the pocket, throwing a catchable ball. Hernandez usually just eats those up. Much tougher catch for Deontay Thompson.
You think? Beautiful Centennial Park in Atlanta. We get set for the field goal.
Alabama has to be very careful here. It's 4th and 4. A little gimmick could cost them a first down. Stay onside.
Florida is 7 of 7 on fake punts or field goals during Urban Meyer's tenure. Not this time. Good. 19-13. Well, Hernandez, it was an almost for him at the goal line. And then Corey Reamer with the swat. Here's the kick. And Sturgis plants this one 7 yards into the end zone.
I think Alabama's going to play real conservative here because Nick did not take a timeout on that field goal. He let the clock run down. He was conceding the field goal. He didn't want to save the 25 seconds. If I'm Florida and I can get out of here 19-13, the way Alabama hit him early, I think I've taken that if I'm Florida.
And a thought, Alabama won the toss and did not defer. They took the football and they were really aggressive. But that does mean that the Gators will get the ball to open the second half.
Let's see what happens.
Spikes is still out. And of course, Carlos Dunlap suspended indefinitely because of the DUI that he was given in midweek. First down and 10 up the middle. Ingram about 3. Gary, your point about the offense, 268 yards for Alabama.
Yeah,
268
in the first half, and considering last week against Auburn, and obviously they had a 76-yard drive at the end of the game, they had 292 the whole game. So they have really come out swinging the haymaker and stunned Florida. But you know what? Again, Florida's been through so much. They have so much experience on defense. They just are so calm.
Second down now. Well, you saw the graphic. Over the course of 12 games, they've given up 233 per game. And here's Ingram. He runs into Jay Howard, number 6.
Yeah, those back-to-back plays Jay Howard made. There's no team in college football that gets off blocks better than Florida does. That's going to be it. Nick says, I've had enough. I don't want to make a mistake down here.
Yeah, Mark Ingram had a fine first half. 51 yards in the ground. And, of course, his 69-yard catch on the 1-yard pass set up a touchdown run. Nick Saban dodged some heavy punches. And let's go down to Tracy, who's with Urban Meyer.
Thanks, Vern. Urban, you gave up over 260 yards of offense in that first half. Are you feeling the effects of the loss of Carlos Dunlap?
Oh, I mean, Carlos is a heck of a player, but we just got to tackle better. If we get out of that last drive and tackle him on that screen pass, we're playing fine defense. And we're getting open a little yards, but we'll tighten it down in the second half.
This team has been in this position before. They've been behind, especially in this championship game last year. Will you bring that up?
Well, we're just going to make adjustments to get a little better. We got to tackle better, and we got to clean up on defense. But we'll bring that up. But it's a great football team we're playing, and we're a good team. We're just come out and play hard in the second half.
Thanks a lot, Vern.
All right, Tracy, thank you. Well, Tim Tebow had reason to celebrate for a moment. We'll return to the Georgia Dome with the Dr. Pepper Scholarship Toss for Dough. At the half, and a moment ago, Tracy Wilson with Nick Saban.
Coach, you controlled the ball offensively and defensively in that first half. What were you doing to disrupt them?
Well, we did some new things formation-wise, and you know, we're going to have to continue to do that, but we blocked them pretty well up front. We made some plays in the passing game, so it's going to be important that we continue to do that. You know, our defense got confused in the second quarter, and we got to settle down and cut down on the big plays and keep contained.
Thanks a lot. Good luck.
Thank you.
Indeed, they were aggressive coming out, but they did opt to receive the opening kickoff, having won the toss, and that means that the Gators get the ball. Jeffrey Demps is the deep man to the left. Riley Cooper is also back there. Here's the kick. Gets a block, does Demps from Riley Cooper. He's at the 31. Gary, I'm interested in your reaction to what Nick just told Tracy.
Well, we saw it. We talked about it.
Right.
He was very aggressive in his football game. Here's what it is, basically. We know both teams are good. But in championship games, it's who plays best. And we've got a long way to go, but it looks like to me, like we thought, it's going to come to the fourth quarter. And which quarterback makes the plays or which defense handles the quarterback in the fourth quarter.
Well, it'll be Tebow's time at bat first here in the third quarter. From the 29, that's where the ball has been spotted. It'll be Tebow going left. Look at the stiff arm on Mark Barron, and he picks up a hard-fought 4 yards. Kareem Jackson got there to help after Barron was the recipient of the stiff arm.
Well, they've run a couple options, really not too successfully, and they've basically one sweep. The rest of the running game has been Tebow.
Tebow has run it 7 times, Demps once, Brandon James once. That's it on the ground. Rainey's in the lineup now.
Now look at how Alabama switched. They've gone more 3-man line now.
Dive play, nothing. And let's get an injury update from Tracy Wilson.
Well, guys, Brandon James will be out for the rest of this game. He has re-injured a stress fracture in his right foot. They took x-rays at half, and he is done for the game, guys. All
right, Tracy, thus the reason for Jeff Demps and Riley Cooper back on the opening kickoff of the third quarter.
It's a big part. Punt returns. Brandon James. They have no one now to match Arenas for Alabama.
3rd and 7.
That we know about.
Right. Pressure coming from Courtney Upshaw. Tebow delivers. It'll be a yard short of the first down. The catch made by Riley Cooper.
You know, Terrence Cody, Vern, let's go to second down play before this one when he stopped it cold in the 3-man look. Cody is a little lighter, but I think he's a half yard wider player than he was last year. He covers more ground to the right and the left because he's quicker.
You know, when you say he's a little lighter, we're talking about the earth moving as he jumps up and down here. That's at 374, and it's fourth down and 1.
Fourth and inches.
Chaz Henry. This one appears returnable. Nope, it's not. It's short. That's just as good, just as well that they don't let Javier Arenas get his hands on it. Here's Arenas. That's the third punt. He's yet to be able to return one. 36-yard punt, nothing on the return. How about first half trends? McElroy with a fine first half. 9 of 13 for 184. Ingram, 51 yards on the ground, 76, including that 69-yard reception. Tebow, 9 of 17 for 124. And the Florida defense, average per game over 12 games, 233. Alabama, 271.
And Spikes and Major Wright are both back out on the field.
Draw play. Nice gain. Ingram.
The Alabama offensive line a year ago was thought to be the only strength of the team besides on offense. This year's team, a little more balanced, a little more athletic in the offensive line.
Second down 3, double tight end set now. It'll be Colin Peak, number 84, and Michael Williams, number 89. Williams to the right side. Ingram with McElroy in the background, in the backfield. Sweep, Ingram. Center, Blahos is out there to lead the way. And that'll be just short, it appears, of the first down as Justin Tebow makes the stop.
I'll tell you, when you got a guy coming at you, you must take on the blocker. Watch as he takes on Blahos. Take him on, stone him. Spike stoned Blahos and allowed somebody else to make the tackle.
3rd and 1. Alabama 50% so far. They're 3 of 6. Mays has to hustle. He was in the wrong side of the field. He gets over and gets set. Now Julio Jones in motion. Ingram got it. Move the chain. Alabama first down at the 39. Justin Tebow, number 94.
You know, I think Florida fans, Vern, should look at Mark Ingram and say, he reminds me of someone, you know?
Yeah, you think?
The tailback gets the ball, watch him dart in those holes. You guys can think about it a little bit, but I've got my idea who he reminds me of as a running back.
Well, I'm cheating here because I know, but that's just as well.
Got some people watching.
Yeah, I understand. 1st and 10. McElroy play fake. Deep right side. Mays is there. Marquise Mays again. Over Ryan Stamper. That's his 5th catch of the ball game.
Well, when you can run the ball, you can start doing some of this stuff on first down. Just a arrow wheel route. You got a matchup against Stamper. That's not a good matchup for Florida. Linebacker on the speedy receiver for Alabama. Great call. Jim McElwain is having a great game. Remember, Alabama dominated last year in the 3rd quarter.
McElwain, the offensive coordinator. And here's Ingram. Another gain of 20+ for the Crimson Tide. McElroy gets some pressure. Watch out. And he fires it at the feet of Ingram. And the flag is thrown.
Ryan Stamper did a great job seeing the screening back. He grabs Ingram on the play. Watch Stamper grab Ingram. Right here, here's Stamper. He smells it. He smells it this time. He knows it's a screen. Nowhere to go with the ball, and McElroy throws it at his feet.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, 49 defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Well, there was holding too.
Well, no, Cunningham coming from the outside, roughing the passer on the backside. Watch Cunningham.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it looked to me like he lost his balance on the play, and what the official saw was a late hit. One of those things, he stumbled into him. Watch him kind of stumble, and then he hits him. You can't do that. You have to control your body. That's going to get called.
That's a first down at the 17-yard line. Julio Jones, play action. McElroy, he's going to come back to the left. He's got his tight end there. Touchdown, Colin Peak, Alabama. Here's Tiffin. Missed one earlier in the ball game, but not this time.
Vern, remember I said somebody's going to try to steal a touchdown with a gimmick play. This is an shoot screen. Watch the tight end delay and cross. All the flow goes this way. It's a gimmick play. You block, and then you come across. Stamper sees it too late, but it's a perfect throw and a great catch. No gimmicks last year. I would call that a gimmick play. I remember hitting Ozzie Newsome on a play like that when I was at the Cleveland Browns.
I'm just proud of you. I'm just proud of you for saying, oh, shoot. Colin Peak transferred from Georgia Tech, where he ultimately wound up. This one's a yard deep. And Jeff Demps takes it again. Brandon James out for the game. And good special teams play, led by Chris Rogers, number 1.
As Tebow trots on the field, he'll be trotting on the field this year with his biggest deficit of the season.
Most since the last loss. That was in late September 2008 when they lost by 1 to Ole Miss, 31-30. First down 10. Rainey is the running back. He's split to the right. Now Hernandez goes way to the left and Rainey alongside Tebow. Play fake. Tebow finally finds David Nelson way to the right, and Nelson does make positive yardage out to the 37-yard line in front of Justin Woodall, who came over to force him out.
Only a 3-man rush that time. Alabama drops 8 players because Marcel Darius drops. Even though they went 4-man line, they dropped an 8th player. Nobody really open. Good coverage in the secondary. Tebow very patient, dropped it off.
Gain of 9, 2nd and 1. Tebow, left guard. First down, Florida at the 41-yard line. 9:04 to go, third quarter. The SEC Championship on CBS, presented by Dr. Pepper. Alabama scored the first 9 points of the game. Would have had a 10-point lead, save for the missed extra point. Florida came back to make it 9-3, and then back and forth they've gone. But Alabama's aggressiveness on offense has been the difference in this ball game. 26-13.
Yeah, McElroy is playing like McCoy.
Yes, he is. Tebow. Second down.
One of the game plan coaching points for Alabama is never go past Tebow in your pass rush. He's most dangerous when he gets upfield. You see Washington shut it down and come back inside. That has been preached to him all week, that you can't run past this guy.
Loss of 2 officially. Second down, 12. Lorenzo Washington, number 97, in the middle. You've got Josh Chapman now spelling Terrence Cody. Here's Tebow rolling to his left, going deep, tip. Kareem Jackson, who's having a big game in the defensive secondary.
Looks like they're trying to attack Jackson more than Arenas, but this was a bad route for Florida. Both players in the same spot. You must have spacing in a passing game. You get 2 players in the same spot, and that was an easy defense for Jackson.
Frankie Hammond, number 85, is on the field now.
3rd and long. How will they attack? They've been bringing McClain.
Pretty good guy to bring. They do so again. Tebow under pressure. Cooper cannot hang on. Knocked away by Marquise Johnson. It was intended for Riley Cooper. Florida has to punt.
Remember, as Tebow gets pressure here and he gets the ball off, it was Marquise Johnson last year that gave up the 2 passes. Lewis Murphy on the fade, and Riley Cooper on the slant. Marcel Darius puts the pressure on, and Johnson makes the play.
Chaz Henry nice and high and very deep. Arenas at the 5. That is only the 3rd punt this year returned for positive yardage against the Florida punting team. Previous by Florida International. All unexpected people. Time call. Alabama has the ball at their own 12-yard line. Trying to give words of encouragement to Tim Tebow during the timeout. 1987 through 1989.
Remember, this was the time last year when Alabama went on a 15-play, 91-yard drive. Where they got the ball, 12-yard line? Similar circumstances. Can they do it again?
Here's McElroy on the handoff, left side. It's Richardson. Watch him go. Breaks the tackle, still upright. Finally down at the 37. How about getting out of a jam in a quick hurry?
Well, we asked Mark Ingram about Richardson, and he says, oh, he's better than me when I was a freshman. Blocking at the point of attack, the tight ends have to do it, and they are doing a great job. Jim McElwain, the offensive coordinator for Alabama, is having the game of his life, and so is his quarterback.
You know how many yards Alabama's gained now? 355.
Unbalanced line to the right.
Play fake. McElroy back. Looks deep. He's got a man open. It's Julio Jones who has to wait. Is there a flag? There is no flag. Julio Jones at one point had a 2-yard edge, and he had to wait on the pass to get there.
Vern, I think he misjudged this ball, and then that's when Jenkins ran into him. Watch him try to slow down a bit, and then he misjudges it. If he'd have kept running, I think he would have had that ball. Julio misjudged it, did not think McElroy could throw it that far, and he was wrong. He caused that incompletion himself.
McElroy now 11 of 16. Here's Peak. Left side leads the attack, and it's Richardson.
Charlie Strong is going to have to start dialing up the blitzes pretty soon. Here it comes. Here it comes.
And McElroy takes a pop. There's a flag down. They may have, well, let's see.
Yeah, offsides, I think. Because Charlie's extremely upset. They jumped off sides. He had him off the field. And now they're going to have to go 3rd and short. He was bringing the corner blitz. Hayden was coming. Let's see who jumps off. To the outside, it's Jay Howard. That's a big mistake. Big mistake.
Offside.
Let's go back to what you said at the very
penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
The very beginning of the broadcast.
Yeah, it's usually in these games, it's the routine plays that cause the difference. There's been some spectacular ones, but Florida has made less of the routine plays so far in this game. And what it's going to cause? It's going to cause Tebow to have to play spectacular at the end to try to win this thing.
Now they're looking at 3rd and 2 instead of 3rd and 7.
Yep.
Mays and Hanks go right. Julio Jones comes near side.
He had the perfect call on 3rd down, and now they got to do it again.
Ingram's back in there. And on 3rd and 2, he's got the first down. Boy, doesn't he look like Emmitt Smith.
Yep.
And there's a small irony here with Emmitt Smith, the great Cowboy player on the sidelines. Greg McElroy's father, Greg Sr., is a vice president of the Dallas Cowboys.
This play was designed to go right, and that's what the great tailbacks do. They read it backside, and he's one of the great 2-foot jump cutters in college football.
I like that description. I've never heard that before.
What is it?
The two-foot jump cutters.
Oh, he's 2-foot jump.
Sounds like a golf term.
I just talk. I don't even know. He just read that beautifully, though.
I'm just proud you got that out, you know.
Me too.
First down and 10 at the 50. Ingram.
Well, these two guys are not Heisman candidates for nothing. Tebow obviously came into the season as one of the favorites, and Ingram, scoring 2 touchdowns today against this Florida defense. Remember, Florida's only given up 3 rushing touchdowns on the season. And Ingram has shown with the pass catching and running what a threat he is. And you know, Vern, I just got a feeling that the voters want someone else besides a quarterback to win it. I really do.
Well, he's making a heck of a statement, and the trophy ballots are due in this weekend. Play fake, McElroy going right. Drills it behind the intended receiver, Julio Jones.
Well, that one wasn't Jones's fault. One of the first missed throws by McElroy all game. I wonder if this was tipped. You know what? There was a small window, and Greg was a little late with the delivery. That's why he had to throw it behind Julio. Well, they're back in that 3rd and 7 again.
Right.
Last time they jumped off, will Charlie Strong bring pressure again? He loves to attack with pressure. Here it comes.
It's coming, yes, indeed. And it does. And McElroy has spikes in his face, and he completes the first down. Julio Jones.
You can't do any better than Greg McElroy did on this. He knew that he had no help. He had to throw around these 2 guys. Reminded me almost of Drew Brees, the way Drew Brees throws around blitzing guys. Charlie had the right call on. McElroy beat him.
Julio Jones, who had those 3 big catches on the touchdown drive. You look at Charlie Strong, defensive coordinator, Florida. McElroy he had a great game last week, but he is having the game of his life tonight. 239 yards throwing, and here's Upchurch, who caught the winning touchdown pass last week, and that come from behind victory over Auburn. Now, this is the #1 defense in the country, statistically, coming in. And what has happened to them tonight?
You know, you don't have to exactly be balanced in numerical numbers, but you have to keep the defense off balance in play calling. That's what Alabama has done in this game so far. Florida does not know where they're coming from on every snap.
Ingram back on the field, gets the handoff and goes right. And that's going to be very close for a first down inside the 30.
Is this starting to remind you of that drive last year when they took 7.5 minutes? They started on the 12, and they methodically put it down the field. This time they started, a year ago, they started on the 9. Very similar type feel.
3rd and 1. They are 6 of 9 on 3rd down conversions. Mays goes wide right. Julio Jones near side. Give it off to Ingram. First down, Alabama. You know, he's a sophomore out of Flint, Michigan. We had a chance to spend some time with him earlier in the year. He's an all-round athlete. He was a starter on his high school team, Grand Blanc. As a 9th grader, he was also a star in track and field. He told us he bowled for 243, but he really excelled at golf.
I hate him.
Well, we've got a guest in the booth tonight, Sir Nick Faldo, winner of 6 majors, and of course our lead analyst on CBS. This is his 2nd football game.
We're converting him.
There we are. No, he wanted to go out.
Here's that formation again. They're not lined up right. They're illegal. They got 5 men in the backfield. They're going to get called.
Flag. Yep.
That's the quarterback's fault. He's got to check that. Greg McElroy might be a Rhodes Scholar, but he missed one there.
There's McElwain. And here's
This is it. One of these guys or one of these guys need to be on the line of scrimmage. That was easy. Now a field goal is huge. A field goal makes it a 16-point game.
Offense, 5 men in the backfield. That penalty's declined. 2nd down.
Because he lost yardage on the bobble.
They're going to decline it. I see.
Yep.
But remember, a field goal means Florida has to go 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions or 2 scores and a field goal.
Right side, Ingram cuts back to the left, breaks a tackle.
Wow, 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 wow.
It's a statement game for Mark Ingram.
Alabama says we need at least 3, but Ingram says I'm going to give you more than that. Now it's in 3rd in position to make it. Very interesting call here. 3 points are huge, but you got a hot quarterback. They're going to go unbalanced on this play. Left. And then shift.
Yep. 2 tight ends go to the right side.
No one's covering the slot.
Here we go.
Look at that cut. You got to give it to that offensive line. This offensive line is making plays. Mike Johnson and William Blahos watch the center and the guard. Blahos pushes, Johnson gets the nose, and watch Ingram cut up inside. Barrett Jones gets his guy. They are gashing Florida. Florida's completely off balance with the play calling, and Ingram's too good for him right now.
This drive, as Gary mentioned, started at the 12. Ingram
took 7.5 minutes off the clock again.
Now 21 carries for 99 yards. To the 10.
Remember, they got this ball with 7.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter, and they ran out the clock. Alabama has been waiting a whole year to get back and win the 4th quarter.
They'll have that opportunity as soon as we come back. That's the end of 3 with a score 26-13. Crimson Tide will return right after this word from your local station. This is now. During the break, Tim Tebow trying to urge his team on. A year ago, they trailed by 3. Now they trail by 13.
He's in the defensive huddle. He knows they must hold Alabama to a field goal. A touchdown here, I think Nick goes for 2 and tries to make it a 21-point game.
Florida's defense is on. We begin the 4th. Vern Lundquist, Gary Danielson, Tracy Wolfson, our entire CBS crew in the Georgia Dome in Atlanta.
This could be a championship drive for Alabama. Started on the 12-yard line.
And this is the 15th play of this drive.
Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
It sure does. Upchurch, right side. They try to get Upchurch open in the flat. He was held up at the line of scrimmage. So McElroy says, what the heck? What the heck? I'll take it.
He got inside Trado, number 94. Justin Trado gets outside, and then he runs right by the Florida. I mean, I know Alabama fans will be upset, but that was Tebow-esque.
Yes.
I mean, it was. I mean, that's the play you would have thought Tebow would make. McElroy is making all the plays.
Meyer and Tebow look on. Here's the measurement.
Guy has never lost the start. You know, it's amazing. In preseason, he was a question mark. As the season got underway, he became the surprise. In the middle, he was looked like as the weak link. And now, after last week, he looks like a clutch quarterback, doesn't he?
Indeed. Remember at the middle of the season when he slumped, his offensive coordinator said he was overwhelmed.
I thought, in that, I think it was the Tennessee game, when he got yelled at halftime and he didn't melt.
Right.
He said, all right, let's go play football.
Well, he has responded to the challenge, has he not? He had a great November.
You can see Big Cody in there.
Now, where's he going to line up this time?
We'll find him this time. Carlos, yeah, no Carlos Dunlap. Remember that.
Handoff. And that'll be caught short of the first down.
You look at McElroy, started out hot, cooled off in the middle in the last 4 games. First down. You know, Carlos Dunlap makes a difference in the passing game, but they're doing it in a lot of different ways in this football game. 412 yards. I said they'd miss him. They miss him, but they're missing a lot here. They're attacking every phase of this defense.
Well, they have run for 173 yards in 3 quarters. Here's Cody at fullback. He'll lead the way for Ingram, I think. He does. Touchdown, Alabama.
I'm pretty sure they'll go for 2 here. This time we find Cody, and we follow Cody. Oh, man, how would you like to be that defensive back, Will Hill, on that play?
He's listed at 202 pounds.
Right. Charlie Strong has tried everything. 3-man line, bear defense, 4-man line, 4 or 5 defensive ends in place of Dunlap, but they've had their number.
Look at Cody deliver the hit on Will Hill. Hill did get off the block and helped with the tackle. Play under review. So we wait.
Seventeenth play of this drive. Did the ball touch the plane? I think it did.
Yeah, I do too. And there is a camera right on the goal line.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
I think the thinking here for Nick Saban is he does not believe Florida will get 4 more possessions. So he doesn't worry about 19 or 20 doesn't hurt him. 21 would be huge.
And so the try for 2 at the end of an 88-yard drive, 17 plays and 8 minutes and 47 seconds off the clock.
Julio Jones in the slot, bottom of the screen.
Pressure from the back. McElroy incomplete.
Boy, I tell you, Spikes is really limping. He labored through that whole drive. He made the play on that one, but he was not 100%.
Last week against Auburn on the road, they went 79 yards in 15 plays. They just went 88 yards in 17 plays. And 3 touchdowns from Mark Ingram. Amazing night for number 22. Back with more in a moment. On the Alabama bench, Greg McElroy, who might, Gary, have suffered a hip pointer on that scramble.
Yeah, as he was pulling away on this scramble, I don't know if he strained like a hip flexor or got a hit on the hip, but that's the second big scramble that McElroy has produced in this game. Remember the one down the sideline, and now this one.
How about that? 88 yards, 17 plays, 8:47 on the clock, and they lead 32-13. This is Chris Rainey. Out to the 35-yard line. So Florida with a formidable task, might you say?
Well, if they come back and win this one, and you don't even have to vote for the Heisman. They're going to have to score 3 touchdowns. Field goals don't mean anything anymore.
Right, exactly.
It's a 3-touchdown game and I don't know. They're not going to get the ball any more than 3 more times probably, unless there's an onside kick.
I don't know what we expected, but I don't think we expected this kind of Alabama offensive domination. Here's Tebow. Low.
Bad throw.
Second down 10. Tebow. Aaron Hernandez. Well, as a totally irrelevant footnote, the Southern California Trojan basketball team staying in our hotel. And as we speak, they are playing against Georgia Tech. I'd love to know what kind of crowd's there, since Georgia Tech is playing tonight, the football team.
I would assume for Florida, it's 4-down territory.
Last loss, late September, 31-30, at home to Ole Miss. Tebow. Corey Reamer with the tackle. That was 22 games ago, September 08.
You know, a lot of people were saying and think that Alabama was thought to be one of the 3 teams that people were picking to win the national championship. I believe they were in the second phase of teams. Watch out.
That is a fumble. Who got it? Alabama got it.
Lorenzo Washington is the guy that came from behind, but it was not good feel by Tebow. Watch Washington right here. He's actually double teamed on the play. Tebow should have gone up in the pocket. When he retreated, he actually produced the sack. Was his hand going forward? That's the question. This obviously will be reviewed. Looked like the ball moved in his hand before his arm came forward. Let's look at this. Ball low. Look how low the ball is again. Well, I tell you, that is really close. Looked to me like his arm was coming forward. This might be the first overrule. Tebow drops that ball low. Watch this. And then when Washington gets it, he actually looks like the arm is going forward. It was ruled a fumble, obviously. Should I go out on a limb here, Vern? I always do, don't I?
I've got the saw if you'd like for me to start.
I think they're gonna, boy, what, that ball popped out of his hand at the same time it was going forward. We got 6 people in the booth here.
Yep.
We got 7 opinions. I'm gonna say his hand was going forward.
Jim Allison, the replay official, as we mentioned.
Hand was going forward. I think they're going to overturn it. The ball is moving as it comes forward. I don't know what the replay official will see on this one.
No, you're hedging now.
No, I would overturn.
Okay,
it.
all right.
What the heck?
I just don't want those.
I'm still going to get my paycheck.
After further review, the ruling on the field is an incomplete pass.
Whoa, Mr. Danielson.
Florida's ball, 2nd and 10 on the 49.5-yard line. Please reset the game clock to 12:34.
The money in the booth is all being passed to me.
Oh, goodness.
Tebow thought his arm was going forward, but you know what? We all do that on every play.
And so, with the overrule at 2nd down and 10, Demps the running back, 32-13, 12:34 to go. Pressure, wow, right up the middle. The pass is complete to Hernandez. Spins and is down inside the 30. Mark Barron got him.
Now remember, on a play like this, You want to let the defenders come in. So Tebow knew he could retreat and throw this ball inside, free. Tebow retreats and puts it a short pass to his tight end.
Florida hurries up. Tebow back. He's hit again as he lets it go, but it's caught inside the 10 this time. David Nelson. A gain of 22.
You literally have to cut the head off the snake. David Nelson goes up, uses his size, and makes the play.
First and goal. 12 minutes remaining. Got a man, intercepted. Javier Arenas in the end zone. Only the 5th interception thrown by Tebow this year.
This is a bad decision by Tebow. Remember, Arenas is the smallest guy on the field. He lays this one up to the end zone. It's a touchdown. He just has to get it over the 5'8" Arenas. He tries to drill it. He should have put some air under it. Watch this. Touchdown. All he has to do is put some air under it.
He had Hernandez by 3 yards.
Yep. He drills it, and the guy from Florida, who nobody wanted, but FIU makes the play. A bad decision by Tebow. Cost them 7 points.
It might be over for Urban Meyer and Tim Tebow. 32-13 Alabama after Tebow's interception. It's now time for the SEC Moment, presented by Sonic. Here's Tracy Wood.
Last year in an SEC championship game for the ages, #1 Alabama took a 20-17 lead over the #2 Gators heading into the 4th quarter. But then Tim Tebow took over, leading Florida on 2 long scoring drives as the Gators won their 6th SEC championship game title. It was Tim Tebow's first ever 4th quarter come-from-behind victory.
Well, a different story tonight. We mentioned he's only thrown 5 interceptions this year. It's his 10th turnover. Had the 5 fumbles. And that was his first interception in his last 139 passes. And so McElroy and the Crimson Tide 32-13, and they've got a 1st and 10 at the 20. This is Ingram. Over 100 yards rushing now.
Going back. And I know this, I mean, it still might not be a football game, but that was a routine throw. And Tebow made a mistake, and he paid for it. That's what we love about these high-stakes games. Consequences on every play. And Alabama made the play there. Arenas made the play there. It was spectacular for Arenas, but a routine mistake by Tebow.
Javier Arenas, Gary mentioned, was offered 1 scholarship early on. That was Florida International University, and then Mike Shula came calling and signed Arenas to a scholarship. Here's Upchurch setting up to the right side. And Ingram to the 25, tackled by Jay Howard.
We as Americans admire our athletes who produce under pressure. Greg McElroy has produced today under pressure. You know, and I can feel where he was. I was kind of a mutt as a quarterback. He was the guy nobody wanted. He had to go against Tebow today, and he produced.
Well, when we last saw him on the bench, it looked like he had a hip pointer that might prove costly. Tracy Wolfson letting us know that he's quite fine. 3rd and 4. How about that look? Things are not quite fine.
No surprise.
No.
A run and a punt.
Let's chew on the clock.
That's right. No surprise.
Remember the graphic? Nick Saban, 27-1 with a halftime lead. Pretty good. Javier Arenas. P.J. Fitzgerald is on, and recall Brandon James is out. So Joe Hayden is back to return the punt. Fair catch taken at the 31-yard line. Well, the hill's pretty steep for the Florida Gators. Alabama in command. Alabama aggressive from the start. Opening drive, they got this field goal from Lee Tippin, and they went up 3-0. Then the first touchdown of the night, Mark Ingram from 7 yards out. The extra point went doink off the right upright. That made it 9-0. Gators came back with a Caleb Sturgis 48-yard field goal. It was 9-3. Another one, this from Tippin to make it 12-3. That followed by a Gator touchdown. David Nelson, 12-10. We had a ball game. And then Ingram extended the lead, 19-10 after this 3-yard run. Sturgis field goal, 19-13, and the seesaw continued. McElroy, who's having a game for the ages tonight, hit Colin Peak on an aesthetically pleasing pass. Left side, Ingram, that one reviewed, ruled that he did cross the plane. Third touchdown, and darkness has descended upon Atlanta and Gainesville. They do have the ball at their own 31-yard line. Crimson Tide. How about this year? How about Mark Ingram? How about this defense?
Well, it started right from the first drive. Come on, Alabama has punched them in the nose all game.
From the backside, Tebow, that's bobbled by Riley Cooper. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
It's so hard to go back-to-back champions. I mean, Florida has had to live with the expectations all year that the only way to truly have a successful season was to win them all. Can you imagine that? Well,
in part, that became a stated goal by the players.
It sure did.
They wanted to go undefeated. No.
Well, there's no unbeatable team. You know, we thought the '83 Miami team was unbeatable. Nebraska beat them.
2nd down and 10. Tebow's got his man. That's Hernandez.
Yeah, Nick Saban. I said that the wrong way. Obviously, my buddy was playing quarterback for Miami when he beat Nebraska. But look at Nick right here. When he plays a team, he wins. Bernie Kosar's going to kill me for saying that the wrong way.
From the backside, Tebow under pressure. Catch made by Deontay Thompson appears to be enough for the 1st down. Nick Saban, of course, graduated from Kent State, graduate assistant there, was with the Houston Oilers for a while. First head coaching job, University of Toledo, to be continued. It's 1st down and 10 with a hurry-up offense. Tebow deep, right side, got a man open. Hernandez all the way down to the 20-yard line.
This guy is one of the great players in college football. He had a drop earlier in the game. That was a big routine play that he dropped, but he beats Mark Barron right there. A nice route, great catch. He's going to be a great football player at any level.
38 yards, Tebow under pressure again. Boy, they are storming the gates to get to Tim Tebow. That's complete to Hernandez. Well, just to finish the little story about the relationship. Nick Saban got the job at the University of Toledo. Urban Meyer said he was coaching linebackers at Illinois State for $6,000 a year. He called the Saban home, and he wound up talking to Saban's wife, Terry, and he pitched himself for the job. He never talked to Nick. Terry said to Nick, you know, he sounds like a really bright young guy. You ought to hire him. Never did. He went to Colorado State instead. Flag is down.
Illegal formation again, I believe. It might have been somebody moving on the play, but I think it was Deontay Thompson, number 6. Coming out right here. He's not on the line of scrimmage. Too many people in the backfield again. Might have had two guys moving at the same time also right there. Either way.
3rd and 7. Pass is complete out right. That's Omarius Hines, the redshirt freshman from Corsicana, Texas.
And of course, because of the score, it being the way it is with 3 scorers, got to go for it on 4th down. You saw Urban just call that timeout right there.
That's the first Florida timeout. So when we come back, Gators looking at a 4th and 3. 'Tis the season to be jolly if you are an Alabama fan. They lead at 32-13. This is the 7th time, and these aerial pictures brought to you by DirecTV. Shining down on the Georgia Dome, filled to capacity, and a stunned Florida crowd, and a celebration that is about to go well into the night for the Alabama Crimson Tide if things hold.
Well, Nick Saban had a gag order on his football team. They weren't allowed to talk about Florida until they made it into this week to play them. He motivated them. They have outplayed them the whole football game. I think it's obvious. This a must 1st down.
4th and 3. Tebow. Oh no, it's incomplete. Intended for David Nelson.
Tell you, Rolando McClain made a play, reading the eyes of Tebow. McClain is 6'4". He gets in the throwing lane and forces the ball. I think he even tipped it, didn't he?
Yes.
McClain, watch the eyes. Watch him move at the last second. Tebow probably saw him and didn't get it in there.
Urban Meyer knows it's over. The winning streak is going to come to an end, and Alabama is going to Pasadena. Time now for Red Lobster, presenting today's scholar athlete for the Florida Gators, Major Wright, a junior with a major in family, youth, and community sciences. And for the Alabama Crimson Tide, it's Colin Peak, young man whose family all went to Florida. He's a 3.79 GPA, major in finance. I'm just guessing that that is a Gator fan. And he's not. Well, here's the handoff to Richardson. And the clock at 7:20 and running down. Dustin Doe with the last tackle. They will milk this thing as much as they can. They're the Tebows. We haven't seen them in that posture for very, very long, very many times. Pam Tebow, Bob Tebow, parents, and Terrence Mount Cody, Fort Myers, Florida, and at Alabama by way of Mississippi Gulf Community College in Perkiston, Mississippi. 2nd down. Left side. Richardson. Now let's go down to Tracy Wolfson.
Well, guys, they were trying to keep Trent Richardson from cramping up in both legs. He was on the sideline eating pickles. Yes, pickles, to try and keep him hydrated. They were massaging him and icing him, fluids, but pickles?
You have given us so many paths down which we are not going to travel.
Vern goes hot dogs to keep hydrated up here.
That mustard's good for your system.
That's right.
3rd down and 2. Look at the play clock at 2. Well, why not? He called time. Did he get it?
No,
yes,
he wasn't going to get
to
the playoff in time.
Yep. So that is the first time out used by the Crimson Tide. 5:55 to go in the game. Don't forget, later in the game, the play of the game presented by Outback Steakhouse. I'm just guessing that it'll feature guys wearing crimson. 3rd down. Cody having the time of his life.
shutout in the second half for that Alabama defense. That's why they're out there smiling, aren't they?
Oh. Here's Ingram. Trying to make an exclamation point to the evening. Dustin Doe.
Well, one of the big picture things in this football game is, of course, Alabama's going to play for a national championship. But now it looks like, for sure, it's coming down to Mark Ingram and Colt McCoy for the Heisman.
Colt McCoy and the Longhorns play Nebraska this evening. And for Ingram, look at today. 82 yards after contact. That's a stat that they keep off of coaching video. And now Richardson will get the carry.
And that was the man that recruited, one of the men that recruited Mark Ingram to Alabama. That was Bobby Williams, the Michigan State coach who's on Nick's staff. Of course, Vern told you about Mark being from Flint, Michigan, the connection with obviously Nick Saban and Michigan State. He came down here, and what a football player.
Last minute decision to come down here, and of course Nick Saban, as a graduate, as an assistant coach, not a graduate assistant, coached his dad, Mark Ingram Sr., who, as I think most of the country knows, is awaiting sentencing. He is at the Queens Private Correctional Institute near JFK Airport. Original charges were money laundering and fraud, and he's watching this game, I'm sure, with a smile a mile wide back in New York City.
I bet you Mark Ingram actually just came in and pushed his way into the Heisman talk, didn't he?
Yes.
He started out Bradford, Tebow, McCoy, and Ingram, just by his great play, worked his way into it. What a performance by Nick Saban's team. The Florida football team has to just tip their hat. Alabama won it from start to finish. You know, you think about Florida, they're always, this team will always be remembered as champions, but they were going for historic.
Yes.
They're not going to get historic.
Richardson fighting his way up near the 50.
These two guys are both coming back. Trent Richardson, Mark, what a 1-2 combination. Best combination in college football.
Total yardage now 454. And we'll make the point again that Carlos Dunlap, the defensive end, suspended for this game because of his arrest on DUI charges earlier this week. But I don't know that he would have made any difference whatsoever tonight.
I say no. They never got Alabama into a passing game.
Gators' last loss was at home to Ole Miss in 2008. They've outscored their opponents by 30 points a game. They're plus 22 turnover differential. They've allowed fewer than 22 points in each game, but the key line in that graphic is prior to today.
Right, they had no rushing game today. Demps and Rainey were non-existent. They didn't have them. And you know what else? Another issue that pops up here to me. Obviously, Florida did not play well enough. Now, in my mind, they had no chance anyway. The loser of this game was out. But some people thought if it was a close game, we could say rematch. No rematch. It's either Texas, or if they lose, it's TCU or Cincinnati playing Alabama.
Third and short. Well, Gary, we talked, the drive of the night obviously was the 88-yard drive in the third quarter. That put this thing away. And we thought there might be a fourth quarter challenge to equal last year's. Not going to happen. Well, the league started in the 30s. The last Alabama SEC title in 1999. Upchurch, that should be another first down. 2:03 to go.
Well, when you get humbled, like Alabama was humbled last year, getting dominated in the fourth quarter and then losing to Utah, you work all year to come back, and they did it today.
About the time this league started in the 30s, a man named Frank Perkins wrote a tune with lyrics by Mitchell Parrish. It was called Stars Fell on Alabama. We're inside. We can't see him, but I'll bet the state is trying to see him tonight. First down.
Well, they could also rephrase this a little too, Vern. Saban fell on Alabama. You got to give that man credit. He's built a champion at LSU. He came to Alabama and built, obviously, another tremendous program, and they've got great players coming up, freshmen and sophomores. This ain't going to stop soon.
1:40 remaining in this game. Earl Alexander starts in motion. They'll hand it off to Upchurch. Big hole. Stiff arm. $29-yard gain.
Nice tribute by Alabama. Their offensive line keeps playing. They give it to their senior, Upchurch. Roy Upchurch makes it. That football player has been through a lot. Had that big catch last week. They just got athletes up and down this team, don't they? Well coached, focused, and Nick's going to get wet, maybe, huh?
Another 6 yards, and they're going to go 500 yards on offense. Yeah,
they're going to shut it down now.
You think?
Yep.
Take a knee?
Yep.
Yes, they are. That's classy. That's something that some coaches in this league are not accustomed to. How about the night for Greg McElroy? How about the loss for Tim Tebow? Another knee. Now it's official. In the middle of that group on the field, Tracy Wolfson with Nick Saban.
Thanks a lot, Vern. Coach, Alabama has been waiting a long time for this, and especially this year, to defeat Florida, to win the SEC championship and a chance at a national title.
Hey, our players did a great job today, man. Our whole team, everybody in our organization, our fans, everybody that's a part of our team. And I'm so happy and pleased for our players. They learned a lot last year playing in this game. Florida's a great team, and our guys did a great job of being physical today, and I'm just proud of the fact that we won the SEC championship, and I'm going to just enjoy that for now.
Talk about the performance of McElroy, the confidence he showed, and then Mark Ingram.
Well, our entire team played great. You know, Greg played great, Julio played great, Mark played great. The offensive line really should get the most credit for what they did up front. And in the second quarter, we lost our poise on defense, but the defense did a great job in the second half.
In your mind, does Mark Ingram deserve to win the Heisman?
Absolutely. You know, he should be a guy that should be considered. You know, he's one of the best players on one of the best teams. So,
thanks a lot. Go celebrate.
Thank you.
That sounded like an endorsement.
That's got to be fun, doesn't it?
And now Tracy's with Tim Tebow.
Tim, I know this is not how you envisioned your senior season ending. How disappointing is this for you?
It's tough. It's just, it's not how you want to go out. But, I just want to congratulate Alabama, Coach Saban, their players, classy program, classy university. They deserve everything they got, and I'm very proud of them. Happy for them.
What was the difference today?
They were just better than us today. Offense, defense, special teams came out, coached very well, played very hard. Very classy team.
What will you remember most about your time in Florida?
Everything. The players that I'm with, the coaches that I'm with, the fans. Even though we're losing, they're still here supporting us, and I just appreciate all of it.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. God bless.
Mark Ingram, his mom, his grandfather, sisters, all here, made the drive in 2 vehicles down from Flint, Michigan. Well, tears of a different texture for both teams. Much more to come from the Georgia Dome. Now, Mark, an enormous game, but I'm not sure in the final analysis it was much better than that from Greg McElroy. And he is with Tracy Wolfson.
Thanks a lot, Vern. Greg McElroy just taking a few pictures right here, living in the moment. Is this a dream come true for you?
Well, yes, ma'am, it is. I mean, this is why you come to Alabama. This is why you play in the SEC, to play in incredible atmospheres against an incredible opponent. And you can't say enough about the determination of the guys that, wearing crimson tonight. And I'm so proud to go to Alabama. I really am. And this is our 22nd SEC championship. And hopefully number 13 will be coming home pretty soon.
What was the difference for you tonight? You just showed so much confidence and calmness out there.
Well, the kind of attitude I had going into it was the fact that, great players step up in great moments. And if I want to call myself a great player, if I want to be, mentioned with the other great Alabama quarterbacks, and these are the moments you have to step up in and make plays in. And I couldn't have done it without everybody else. We played outstanding on the offensive line. Mark, Trent, Roy, all made great plays for me, and obviously Julio, Marquise, Hanks, all those guys. I'm so proud to be a part of this team.
Now a chance at the national title. What's it going to take?
Well, I'm not really sure who our opponent is, but depending on that, I think they're probably going to be from the state of Texas, which is where I'm from. So it should be a nice, interesting homecoming for me, and it's going to take an awful lot of preparation, an awful lot of hard work. We have to make a lot of improvements between now and then.
Congratulations. Enjoy the win.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Think about this. He's now undefeated still as a quarterback, 16-0 at South Lake Carroll, 13-0 at Alabama. He's our Chick-fil-A player of the game.
You really can't write this script. Nobody would believe this one. The guy Alabama didn't want leads them to the championship against the guy they did want.
Commissioner Mike Slide, who will make the presentation.
Up on the stage getting ready for the celebration. Mark Ingram just a moment ago started cramping. And he's getting immediate medical attention
from the mascot.
As Nick Saban salutes the Crimson Tide followers. Much more to come on CBS.
He said it. In big games, you got to step up. If you want to be known as a winning quarterback, you got to do it. He did it under pressure. He did it on the biggest stage. He was flawless. His decision-making, you got to tip your, literally, you got to just say, Greg, you were critiqued, you were criticized, but you won. He came through. He'll always be remembered now.
Well, and the end comes for Tim Tebow and the Florida Gators tonight, having won 22 in a row. Think about this. Over the last 2 years in regular season play, these two teams were 47-1. And for Tebow and the Gators, what's the legacy?
They'll be known as champions. They will not be known as historically the team.
Right.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. But, when you come back and your whole goal is to win them all, that's tough to do. They met a better team tonight. I really believe they met a better team.
A year or so ago, you and I had a really, really long talk with Mal Moore, the athletic director at Alabama. And by the way, this is just great for him. And he told us the entire story of how he got Nick Saban to come to Alabama. We're going to have to save it for the book, I guess.
Well, needless to say, he got the guy he needed for Alabama.
Right. And they're only going to get better, don't you think, Gary?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They're going to recruit, both teams recruit great players. There's going to be no drop-off. The rest of the SEC may come up, but these teams ain't coming back.
Alabama convincing tonight with a 32-13 victory in the SEC championship game on CBS. For Gary Danielson, Tracy Wolfson, our entire crew, Bert Lundquist, good night from Georgia.